Happy Monday. We knew who was going to win the Super Bowl last night by the third quarter, and we knew the outcome of Trump's impeachment trial 2 weeks ago. That's not stopping Democrats from forging ahead, though, and wasting everybody's time. Donald Trump stands accused of inciting an insurrection January 6th. The former president had the audacity to tell a crowd to peacefully and patriotically make their voices heard the day Congress certified the Electoral College. Sadly, a small faction of that crowd took things way too far, but the left doesn't see it that way. Democrats have accused the president of aiming a violent mob at the Capitol like a cannon. Obviously, the two sides are miles apart on this subject, but ostensibly you'd think Democrats are winning this argument because they've gotten support from weaker Republicans like Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney. Well, that is meaningless. Just remember, Mitt Romney marched in a BLM protest. You remember that. If you took the politics out of this trial and decided it's simply based on evidence, it would be a joke. Sure, there are legal scholars saying all day that Trump's clearly guilty. These days, you can find a, quote, expert partisan hack to say just about anything you want. CNN and MSNBC are pros at all that. Half of their economic experts are socialists. What does that tell you? But back to impeachment. In reality, the best argument Democrats have is that Trump went too far in his claims of election fraud. They've lost their mind trying to stretch that out into incitement of an insurrection. And they're going full press on this while ignoring their own much more malicious statements in the past. Chuck Schumer's comments towards conservative Supreme Court justices last year were 10 times worse than Donald Trump's. Take a listen.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price.
So that's Chuck Schumer 1 year ago. Yet Schumer still managed to say this today with a straight face. Take a listen.
The political right has been searching for a safe harbor, a way to oppose the conviction of Donald Trump without passing judgment on his conduct, to avoid alienating the former president's supporters without condoning his obviously despicable, unpatriotic, undemocratic behavior. But the truth is, no such safe harbor exists.
It's quite a difference, isn't it? Maxine Waters literally called on her supporters to harass members of the Trump team in public.
You see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
So that was Maxine then. Here's Maxine now.
He absolutely should be charged with premeditated murder because of the lives that were lost with this invasion, with this insurrection.
All right, so the point is this. These are not serious people. They're politicians doing what politicians do, being dramatic and being ridiculous. At the end of the day, they know the case is a loser politically. That's why they're now trying to make this trial as short as possible. Senator Richard Blumenthal said over the weekend, Democrats don't want to over-try and add witnesses for the trial to simply prove the obvious. That's Blumenthal's hilarious attempt to cover up the real reason Democrats don't want any witnesses. They know they're destined to lose anyway. They want to get out of this as soon as possible. They probably wish they hadn't started it. We've all heard what Trump said on January 6th. Everybody's heard it by now. The left is on Mars at this point. Here's Republican Senator Lindsey Graham on CBS.
It's not a crime. I mean, the House is impeaching him under the theory that his speech created a riot. When you look at the facts, many people had already planned to attack the Capitol before he ever spoke.
So in response to that defense, Democrats now say Trump's crime was a pattern of comments for weeks leading up to that day. They're grasping at straws yet again. Today, Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked about all this.
Does the president have plans to watch any of the trial this week? And does the White House prefer a speedy impeachment trial?
Well, first, the president himself would tell you that we keep him pretty busy, and he has a full schedule this week. He will not spend too much time watching the proceedings of any time over the course of this week. He will remain closely in touch with Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, a range of officials on the Hill.
Okay, there you go. You can tell the Biden team isn't too keen on this whole idea, likely because it's taking all the attention away from them. Trump, of course, is an attention vacuum. Nothing else can exist in the room when he is there. Today, as Biden landed at the White House, the first question that he was hit with, of course, about Donald Trump. Look.
He's got an offer to come and testify. He's decided not to. We'll let the Senate work that out. Thank you.
All right, so the Trump show comes back to town tomorrow, but the star himself will likely be playing golf at his club when it starts. Regardless, the Democrat impeachment managers and Trump's attorneys had a nice little back and forth on all of this. The Trump said it was all in written letters. The Trump team said, in this country, the Constitution, not a political party and not politicians, reigns supreme. But through this latest article of impeachment, now before the Senate, Democrat politicians seek to carve out a mechanism by which they can silence a political opponent and a minority party. Democrats responding to that. The House did not impeach Trump because he expressed an unpopular opinion. It impeached him because he willfully incited violent insurrection against the government. Trump team firing back to that. This process will provide us with an opportunity to explain to senators why it's absurd and unconstitutional to hold an impeachment trial against a private citizen.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.